Good morning, everyone. Today's news are like this. So, the first news is this: the RBI has announced that the banks now can directly lend money to real estate investment trust and the infrastructure investment trust. Earlier, banks cannot lend money directly to these trusts. They can lend money to the special purpose vehicles, but they cannot directly lend the these trusts. So first of all, to understand this news, we have to understand what is real estate investment trust and what is the infrastructure investment trust and what is special purpose vehicles. Uh, so basically, First of all, let's us first of all let us start with the real estate investment trust. Real estate investment trust are like the mutual fund of the real estate. So here there is a company. So basically, real estate investment trust is like a company where investor can invest their money. Then that company will use that money uh, to basically they use that money in the real estate. They can use that money to buy the land or maybe to build any building like malls or office complexes, etc. And so basically here the flow is like this. First the invest so basically it is like a fund or it is like a mutual fund where the investors put their money, and then there is a company or a fund manager who use that money uh, who basically use that money in the real estate. Okay, so basically there are some projects like malls, like societies, like office parks, and these projects are of thousands of crore. So basically normally no one has that much money, uh, like any individual does not have that money. So what the company do is that they collect the money like uh, from the investors, and then they basically use that money in the real estate or maybe so basically they create the buildings or malls or societies or office parks, and then they basically rented out those buildings, and 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 after that the rent that they got, they will share that rent with all the investors. So they cut the operational fees, and after that they share that rent with the investors. So this is how investors get the money. uh, like uh, so basically this is how they get the profit from the investment, and the fund manager like like of that fund get the fees as the operational fees, okay, that they cut from the profit. So this is the real estate uh, investment fund, investment trust, REIT. Similarly, we have infrastructure investment trust. So basically, it is like a kind of similar thing, but here the thing is like here here the like so basically it is also like a company or a trust that collects the money from the investor, and then they use that money to create the infrastructures like highways, or it can be any solar park or any renewable energy uh, s- renewable energy system. and after that they basically earn the money, like they can earn the money from highways, like from the toll of the road, the the toll tax that we pay, uh, like that the passengers pays, uh, okay, or like if it is a solar park or the power transmission infrastructure, or if it is like uh, if it is a renewable energy system, something like that, like power system. So basically they will earn money from those sources, and then they will share the profit with all the investors. So basically real estate uh, investment trust and the infrastructure investment trust are similar, kind of similar. So basically these things. Uh, so 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 basically the news is like this: the banks can now directly lend money to the real estate investment trust, or it can lend money to the directly to the infrastructure investment trusts. Okay, so now here there is one more term that we have to understand, and that is SPV. It is special purpose vehicle. So basically, like these trusts that we talk about, like the real estate investment trusts or the infrastructure investment trust, these are like very large trust, and they have so many different projects, and they have so many different type of projects. Like if we take the example of infrastructure investment trust, then they have projects like highways, then they have projects like so basically they have projects like power transmission system or the renewable energy system, or the solar parks. So basically these things are categorized into groups, and these groups are called SPV, special purpose vehicle. So all the highways projects are grouped into SPVA. All the power transmission uh, projects like are grouped into SPVB, and all the renewable energy projects are grouped into SPVB. So basically this grouping is called SPVs, and it is not something like a virtual thing. It is a real thing. Like so basically they basically there is a trust, and then that trust is in real world categorized into SPVA, SPVB, or SPVC, I think. Uh, so the things are like this. Okay. So they did this. Basically they do this because for the managing of the trust efficiently. So like if a particular project is in one group, so basically these SPVs are like companies. Okay. And these trusts are like basically these trusts are like a group of those companies. Okay. So basically, a single company has their financial system isolated with from the like different SPV. Okay. So basically, each SPV has the different financial structure, or the management, then management, like this. So this is how the things works. So basically, earlier, what happened is that the banks can lend money to the SPVs, not the complete group, not the whole trust. They can they can lend money to the individual SPVs, not the like collection of these SPVs, that is the trust. And the banks and the RBI does not allow that because it is easy to lend money to a single company, okay, and also then bank can manage, or so basically also the bank can manage that loan. They can monitor the company, like how that company is performing, and they can monitor their resources, and on the basis of that they can lend the money to that SPV. But now the RBI has announced that, I think basically I have read the news. It can be correct or it cannot be correct because I have read it, and maybe I have misunderstood it. So it is not like uh, I am stating something official thing. Okay, and I just read the news and I'm just explaining my understanding. Okay, so this is the disclaimer that I have shared in between of the video. Uh, okay, so basically the RBI has said, I think that they can directly lend the money. So basically, I think this will help the companies or the trust, like they can easily get the money, first of all. And if the central thing is getting the money, then they can manage that money accordingly. Like they have different projects, and they have different small funds. So they can like easily lend the money, and then according to their need, they can distribute that money that they lend uh, to the different SPV, uh, and so ultimately this will help uh, in the infrastructure growth of the country. And I think that is why RBI has allowed this thing, because now the things get managed, like all the trust are become systematic, all the processes become systematic. So now the RBI, I think, thought that now they can allow the banks to lend the money directly to the trust, and this will help the trust, like they can manage the things. Maybe if they need some money, some portion of the lend, some portion of the borrowed money uh, in the SPVA or SPVB, so they can do that. But there are some rules that RBI has involved. The RBI has enforced, uh, like uh, the first rule is like this, that it said that the RBI said that the banks cannot lend money uh, above the 49% of the asset value. Okay, so it means that, like uh, if a trust has some asset, like these trusts have the assets because it is a real estate trust, or it is an infrastructure investment trust, so they are assets, and those assets have some value, maybe 500 crore or the 1,000 crore or 100 crore. Okay, so the RBI said that the bank can only loan to the 49% of that asset value. And the RBI did this because so that these trusts does not get indebited a lot. Okay. So if something happens, or if the value of their assets get decreased, so in those situations this trust can repay back the money of the investors. And that is why the RBI has said that the banks can only uh, so basically bank can only l- lend the money up to the 49% of the asset value. Also, RBI said that banks can only lend money to the listed uh, investment investment trusts. Okay, it is not like that they can lend money to any trust. It can lend the money only to the trusted listed trusts only. Okay, so the second thing is this, and the third thing is that the banks can only lend money to those investment trusts uh, whose 80% of the asset value uh, is in profit, and basically is like is earning profit in the positive side. Okay, like this, like the RBI said that the banks can lend money only to those investment trusts that whose 80% of the assets have the positive cash flow. They are taking the money from somewhere, but uh, so basically they are taking the money, but they are also earning the money. Okay, so if the things are in positive side, then only, and 80% of the assets are in the positive side, then only bank can lend the money. Okay, and RBI did formed these rules because for the safety of the investors' money, and like that. And the fourth rule is also that the banks cannot lend money, um, they cannot lend the money more than the uh, like they cannot lend the money more than the money uh, that is uh, fixed by the SEBI. Okay, SEBI. Okay, like these trusts can take the loans from banks. They can take loans from somewhere else also. Like there are different sources from where they can take the loan. So so like SEBI, uh, savvy. So we can say like savvy has decided like these trusts can in whole take that much loan. Okay, collectively from all the sources. So the RBI also said that the banks can lend money, but they cannot lend. So basically, the banks have to first check this trust is listed or not, and so from where like so from where so from which sources this bank has taken the loan. So that trust have taken the loan. So basically, it is like this. That So basically, the trust have to uh, basically first inform. So basically, the trust have to give the details of it, like all the financial reports and all those things, and then the bank will check, and after that they will basically lend the money. So basically, this is the first news. And the second news is like a very small, a very quick news. So basically, there is a company named AddVerb Technologies. It is the Indian-based startup, and it is the basically AI and robotics company backed by Red Alliance, and basically it is specialized in the warehouse or industrial automation. So basically, they creates the robots for the automation of the industries or the warehouses. So basically, this company has recently increase its market in US, Netherlands, and different countries. And now it is investing in humanoid robots and other type of things also. And for that, I think they are like trying to raise the money of like so basically they are trying to raise the $100 million fund from the investors. So that is like a small quick news just for information. So that is all for today.